Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, if you guys haven't heard, Nikola Jokic has signed, or is set to sign, but he will sign probably by the time you watch this, the Supermax contract between him and the Nuggets. So let's talk about what's next. So basically, we already know he's going to sign that 5-year, $260 million Supermax deal in July. And the reason why we know this is because The Athletic reported that Jokic and his brothers, Nemanja and Strahinja, hopefully I said that correctly, I probably didn't, met with Nuggets general manager Calvin Booth, who looks like he'll be the new president of basketball operations, Calvin Booth. And Calvin Booth and assistant GM Tommy Balcetis sat down, for the past few days, and they discussed the team futures, and all sides, as source says, left the meeting aligned with their vision for the Nuggets' new regime. It was important to spend time with Jokic's family in person, stateside, in the aftermath of Connelly's departure. Booth and coach Michael Malone have also spoke on Nikola Jokic over the phone with him as the big man returned, to Serbia for his annual offseason, I guess you would say, retreat. Now, they talked about the long-term commitment between the two guys, and it looks like Booth being elevated to the lead front office role after rising up the ranks of the team. He looks like he's going to be a guy who's only been here since 2017, first off. He has to figure out how they're going to run the show, because the Nuggets are seen widely as contenders with Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. fully healthy. And Booth is described as an organized, even-keeled person, someone who has the chops to be the number one leader of a front office and can relate to the players, coaches, and support staff. And he was actually named as NBA's 40 under 40 in the early March. So, ooh, I just hit something over if you guys heard that. I gotta take a sip of Red Bull. Now, when we look at this, I think it's definitely something interesting because the Nuggets are expected to move forward with Jokic, Murray, Porter, and the Booth-led front office on being aggressive to improve the roster. The mandate will be clear under Booth's leadership. Moving forward, compete for the titles and maximize Jokic's prime year. As Connelly made it clear before he left, when he addressed the topic of the luxury tax bills that are looming so large, the Nugget ownership is well aware the ambitious approach comes at a massive cost. Entering next season, Denver's on track to be $15 million into luxury tax, and large part because of extension that they gave Aaron Gordon. So does Michael Porter Jr.'s 172 5-year deal kicks in, and of course the Jokic Supermax would be kicking in the following year. So the goal is nothing else besides winning a championship, and Murray's expected to be fully healthy after missing the entire 2021 campaign because of his torn ACL. We saw Porter play like 9 abysmal games and suffer another back problem, and now had his 3rd surgery. They're a team that is loaded, but they've been hobbled by injuries, and health is something that they need to look at. But if they're healthy, this is a team that should easily return to the Western Conference elite status. And I think when we look at this, as Conley exited, sources said the Timberwolves' willingness to include owner equity in his deal was seen by the Nuggets as kind of negotiating hurdle they simply weren't willing to overcome, in large part because of the precedent it would set in negotiation with team executives. Kroenke Sports, the guy who owns the Rams, and Stan Kroenke is a cheap bastard. Doesn't pay for presidents. You guys have Masai Ujiri. Left him and let him go to Toronto and he won a championship. And he had just taken you guys to the Western Conference Finals. And I'm not going to praise Tim Connelly or Ujiri because they both had bad contracts, you could argue. Tim Connelly made some bad contracts, but he made a lot better. His good outweighed anything bad that Tim Connelly did. The same thing you could say about Masai Ujiri. All the good he did outweighed any bad he did. And this is a team that doesn't pay executives. And there's nothing wrong with that because the executives don't win you the basketball games. The players win you the basketball games. So, what do I take from this? I take that the Nuggets are going to be fine, but in 2008, the Nuggets were faced in a similar situation with a luxury tax bill. Marcus Camby unexpectedly got unloaded that in 2008 because they didn't want to pay the luxury tax bill. So, maybe they do keep everybody this offseason. They make very small moves and they keep the roster wholly the same. But I could also see midway through the year, or right before the year, They just say, F it. I don't want to pay the luxury tax. And they try to do something different. But if you're a fan of the Denver Nuggets, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. That's basically it for today, guys. I hope you guys do have a great day. That's basically it. Bye-bye. Check out the NBA show in the link in the description.